The ship had been drifting in the outer veil for 3,000 cycles. 3,000 cycles. Every sensor array in the quadrant had tracked it, catalogued it, and wisely decided to leave it the hell alone. We called it the Phantom Mark, though nobody really knew why. Maybe because looking at it too long made your throat dry and your survival instincts scream at frequencies only prey animals should hear. I'm Krell, by the way. Navigation officer aboard the merchant vessel Distant Hope. 4 arms, 2 heads, and apparently not enough brain cells between them to avoid the biggest mistake of my life. Captain Vaughn, I said, my left head focused on the readings while my right head handled the coffee. We're picking up a distress beacon. Automated. Old frequency. Vaughn clicked her mandibles together, that annoying habit she had when she was thinking. Or pretending to think. Hard to tell with Glacian leadership sometimes. How old? She asked. Pre-contact era. Maybe older. I paused, both heads now staring at the screen. It's coming from the Phantom Mark. The bridge went silent. You could have heard a scale drop. Our security chief, a massive Dorvakian named Thresh, actually laughed. Deep, rumbling, the kind of sound that usually preceded something dying. You're joking. Please tell me you're joking, Krell. I never joke about ships that have eaten 17 salvage crews. 16, Vaughn corrected. The Talix expedition technically made it back. Sort of. The parts that could still scream did, anyway. Right. How could I forget? But here's the thing about merchant crews operating in the outer veil. We're not exactly swimming in credits. The Distant Hope was held together with prayer, cheap welding, and expired hull sealant. One more failed quarter and we'd be selling our organs on the black market. Individually. While still using them. The salvage rights alone would set us up for cycles, Vaughn said quietly. Too quietly. She was actually considering it. Captain, Thresh rumbled. With respect, and I mean this with all 6 of my hearts, have you lost your singular mind? We just take a look, Vaughn insisted. Quick scan. If anything feels wrong, we jump out. Simple. Nothing about this was simple. Nothing about the Phantom Mark had ever been simple. The ship was a legend. A horror story. The thing parents told their spawn about when they wouldn't finish their protein paste, but I pulled up the approach vector anyway. Because I'm an idiot. And because rent was due, the Phantom Mark grew larger in our viewport as we approached, and okay, I'll admit it. The thing was beautiful. In the way a black hole is beautiful. In the way poison can have lovely colors before it stops your cardiac system. The hull was unmarked. No battle damage, no meteor strikes, nothing. Just smooth, dark metal that seemed to drink in the light around it. Sleek lines that suggested speed and violence in equal measure. Weapon ports that could probably crack a moon if they felt motivated. Life signs? Vaughn asked. I checked. Rechecked. Checked a 3rd time because my hands were shaking. Nothing. Ship's cold. Powerless. Completely dead. Then why, Thresh said slowly, is the distress beacon still broadcasting? Good question. Great question. The kind of question that usually preceded terrible life choices. We docked anyway. The airlock hissed open and the smell hit us first. Not decay, which would have been expected. Not staleness. Something else. Sterile. Clinical. Like a medical bay that had been cleaning itself for centuries. Our engineer, a nervous little Pixith named Jax, stayed behind. Smart guy, Jax. I should have stayed behind too. The interior corridors were pristine. Emergency lighting flickered on as we moved, responding to our presence. The walls were lined with conduits and panels covered in symbols none of us recognized. Well, most of us. Vaughn stopped at one panel, her mandibles twitching. These markings. I've seen them before. Old archive files. Pre-war documentation. Which war? Thresh asked. The one nobody talks about. Fantastic. Ominous historical references. Exactly what I needed today. We found the bridge 12 minutes later. 12 minutes of walking through corridors that felt wrong. Too wide. Too tall. Like they'd been built for something bigger than any species I'd ever met. The command center was massive. Stations everywhere, screens dark, and in the middle of it all, a console. Just one. glowing with a faint blue light that pulsed like a heartbeat. And standing in front of that console, looking confused and entirely too comfortable for someone who should have been terrified, was a human on a ghost ship in the outer veil. He turned to look at us. And I swear on every deity in the pantheon, he smiled. Oh good, he said, his voice carrying that bizarre optimism humans were famous for. I was starting to think nobody was going to show up. I'm Marcus. Is this your ship? Because I think I might have accidentally turned something on. The console behind him flared brighter, and somewhere deep in the Phantom Mark's core, something very old and very dangerous began to wake up. Accidentally? I repeated, all four of my hands gesturing wildly. You accidentally turned on a derelict warship that has been silent for 3 millennia. How does one accidentally do that? Marcus shrugged. Actually shrugged. Like this was a minor inconvenience. Like he hadn't just potentially doomed us all to whatever horrific fate had claimed 17 previous salvage crews. Well, I touched the screen, he explained, pointing at the console. It looked interactive. You know how it is. No, Thresh growled, his weapon raised. No, we do not know how it is. Who are you? How did you get here? Transport shuttle malfunction. Ended up drifting. Saw this big scary ship and thought, hey, maybe they have a working communications array. Marcus glanced around the bridge. Nice place, by the way. Really commits to the whole ominous aesthetic. The console pulsed again, brighter this time. The walls began humming. Not the concerning hum of failing systems, but the purposeful hum of systems coming online. Systems that had been sleeping for longer than some civilizations had existed. Vaughn stepped forward, her mandibles clicking rapidly. Human, step away from that console. Slowly. Do not touch anything else. Too late for that advice, I think, Marcus said. And he was right because the entire bridge suddenly flooded with light. Holographic displays erupted into existence. Tactical readouts, star maps, weapon status, all scrolling past faster than my eyes could track. And then, cutting through all of it, a voice. Deep. Ancient. Amused. Authorization recognized. Welcome, operator. Awaiting command protocols. We all froze. Even Marcus, who finally seemed to grasp that maybe, just maybe, this was serious. He said eloquently. I'm not an operator. Wrong guy. Definitely wrong species. Genetic markers confirmed. Neural pattern compatible. You are the operator. I watched Marcus's face cycle through confusion, realization, and then something that looked suspiciously like excitement. No. No, no, no. That was the wrong reaction. Fear was the correct reaction. Terror. Screaming. Running away while your legs still functioned. Captain, I said urgently. We need to leave. Right now. This human has activated something we cannot control. But Vaughn wasn't listening. She was staring at the displays, translating the symbols. This ship. It's not from the outer veil. It's not from any known territory. She turned to face us, and I'd never seen her look frightened before. It's a Vanguard class. Human military. From the Silence Wars. Thresh's weapon lowered slightly. The Silence Wars are a myth. Nobody even knows if humans fought in any pre-contact conflicts. Oh, we fought, Marcus said quietly, his tone completely different now. Serious. Almost sad. We fought things that made the current Galactic Council look like a kindergarten playground. And we won. Barely. He touched the console again, gentler this time. We built ships like this to make sure we'd never have to fight like that again. The humming intensified. I felt it in my bones, in my scales, in every survival instinct that told me to run. Status report, Marcus said, and the ship responded instantly. Main power at 17%. Weapons systems online. Defensive grids functional. Crew complement, 0. Awaiting orders. Orders. Vaughn whispered. Human, what orders did this ship receive last? The holographic displays shifted, showing a star system I didn't recognize. Planets burning. Fleets scattered like toys. And in the center of it all, something massive. Something wrong. Containment, the ship said. Target eliminated. Collateral acceptable. Mission parameters achieved. Entered standby mode, 3,142 cycles ago. 3,000 cycles. Waiting. Just waiting for someone with the right genetic signature to wake it up and give it purpose again. Marcus ran his hand through his hair, looking suddenly tired. My great-grandmother times about 50 was probably on the crew. That's how the genetic markers work. Biometric locks keyed to bloodlines. He laughed, but it wasn't happy. Guess I inherited more than just her terrible eyesight. An alarm blared. The displays all turned red simultaneously. Warning. Multiple vessels approaching. Configuration matches known hostile patterns. Recommend defensive action. Hostile. Thresh moved to a viewport. Those are Kraith raiders. 6 ships. They must have tracked us here. Of course they did. Because our day wasn't complicated enough. The Kraith were pirates. The worst kind. The kind that didn't just take cargo but took crew members for their fighting pits. The kind that made you wish for a quick death in the cold vacuum instead. Their lead ship opened communications. The voice was harsh, grating, translated through a cheap modulator. Unidentified vessel. You are trespassing in Kraith territory. Surrender your ship and prepare to be boarded. Resistance will be met with pain. Marcus looked at me. Then at Vaughn. Then at the console. I really shouldn't, he said. Shouldn't what? I asked, dreading the answer. Wake up a 3,000-year-old warship and use it to solve our immediate problem. He grinned, and there it was. That human expression that usually preceded something spectacular and stupid. But they did say resistance would be met with pain. Seems rude. He touched the console one more time. Defensive protocols. Protect allied vessels. Minimal collateral damage, please. The Phantom Mark responded. Oh, how it responded. The ship's weapons came alive with a sound like reality tearing. 6 perfectly aimed shots. 6 Kraith vessels turning into expanding clouds of debris before they could even charge their shields. The entire engagement lasted 4 seconds. 4 seconds. The bridge fell silent except for the gentle hum of satisfied weapons systems powering back down. Marcus turned to face us, hands up in a placating gesture. So, about that communications array. Still need to call for a pickup. Unless you folks are heading anywhere near human space. Vaughn started laughing. Deep, clicking laughter that suggested she might be experiencing shock. Human. Marcus. What exactly were you doing before your shuttle malfunctioned? Delivering supplies to mining colonies. Boring stuff. Why? Because, she said, I think your career options just expanded significantly. I looked at the debris field outside. At the ship that had just casually eliminated a pirate fleet. At the human who'd accidentally become the operator of the galaxy's most terrifying weapon. We're going to need a bigger ship, I muttered. Both my heads agreed on that, at least.
Hello everyone. If you are enjoying this video and finding it helpful, don't forget to support our channel. Please subscribe to our channel, press the like button, and share this video with your friends and family. Also, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos. We regularly upload amazing, informative, and entertaining content just for you. Your support means a lot to us and motivates us to bring even better content in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and welcome to our growing community.